everyone, and welcome to Shelf Space. I'm your host, Ron13, and today we are diving into the world of 30-minute missions with the Alto ground type Brown. Yep, got another sort of Gunpla adjacent product for you to look at. But before we take a look at the figure, let's go ahead and take a look at the box. So we got a very cool sort of CGI illustration of the Alto ground type in its brown color scheme, looking pretty cool. Some nice weathering effect on it. In the background, we have some other variations of the Alto ground type here, though this one may be just more of a regular Alto with some different armor on it. You can see the skirt armor is a little bit different there, and he's got a different gun, but looking pretty cool. I like how it has the usual little square or shape that a lot of the Bandai Gunpla kits have, but this time it's all weathered and stuff. Very neat. Got blue Bandai Spirits logo, 30-minute missions logo up there, which looks pretty cool, but makes me think of, like, I don't know, a company that makes parts for computer games or something. Anyway, on this side we got some painted illustrations of the kit itself and all the different things it can do, showing the posability and the way you can swap out weapons and stuff. This guy has tank treads that you can put all over the place. This is kind of cool how he has them like roller skates. And then it even shows that you can build a basic brown Alto if you really wanted to. But why would you if you have all this stuff? On this side we have the same illustrations as before. Number 19 in the series. Then on this side we have some pictures of stuff that you can do if you combine a whole bunch of things together, plus links and stuff like that to get more information about the kits. And then you have the barcode with its little number thing, no yen price, and hey, it's centered. Amazing. You actually let your graphic designers do what they wanted, I bet. Then over here we got Bluefin logo, or Bluefin sticker, on the same stuff as before. Enough of this though, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual figure. And here it is with all his sort of basic setup options, and I dig it. Now here's the thing, and I mentioned this in the what I got video when I showed off when I got these. He's not going to stay like this for very long. This guy is going to be done up as the character of Red from my webcomic, Who Are You? Check it out on Tapas and Webtoons. You know what? Links in the description, most likely. Who is a giant robot. Well, not giant robot, but a big robot that turns into a tank. And he has very bulky proportions. And when I saw the first pictures of this thing, and I saw that it came with tank treads, I was like, oh my god, I could use this and make a approximation of Red. It's amazing, and I was super psyched for it. He's not going to look 100% like he does in my comic, and that's just because the way I design him is very specific, and I'd have to basically make it from scratch if I really wanted a one-to-one comparison. But I could think of it as a movie version or something inspired by it. But I'm really excited to try that. So I'll show you the basic thing of what I'm going to do by the end of this video. But for now, let's go ahead and focus on this. So yeah, he looks really cool even like this. Let's go ahead and get started at articulation, while also taking a look at the head. So it's a little hard to see here because the way the head is shaped, the Castellage shadow. Oh, there we go. That might work a little bit. But he's got a very brilliant yellow visor. And I bet if you were to paint the area silver behind there, it would look really, really cool. I haven't done that yet because, again, I'm doing something else with this. But he's got kind of a neat sort of asymmetrical thing going on. I'm guessing this right here is supposed to be like a camera or something like that. But just some nice detail, particularly for something that's the size of a HG kit. You're on a sort of fairly standard You got a ball socket joint here and a hinge below. I was about to say it was a double ball socket, and then I remembered, no, it's not like that. And so you can get a little bit of expression going on there. And he can rotate around, not quite all the way. He keeps getting hang up on stuff, and I don't want to snap things. But looks pretty cool. His shoulders are on a butterfly joint that's not a polycap, if I remember correctly, though I think some of his ball joints are made out of polycap material. And you can move his arm up and snap it out of its socket. Oh no! No, it's okay. This thing is designed to come apart relatively easily for the purposes of painting and customization. So don't be too alarmed here. So you can rotate that around. You can see in here, it's a basic, you got a ball socket joint here, sort of regular hinging there. There is a bicep swivel, but be warned, out of the box it is super, super tight, as in I was worried I was going to break the darn thing when I was doing the initial assembly of this thing. So I actually spent quite a bit of time sanding down the peg that went inside. There's basically a hole that comes out in order to make sure that it could still stay in there solid, but actually be able to move around relatively freely. You got a single jointed elbow, but you get pretty decent bend out of it. Ball socket joint for a hand, no swappable hands, but I think there are additional hands you can get on add-on kits. This shield has a little L-shaped joint thing going on here. Just realized you couldn't see that. So you can rotate it around if you want and change the position of it, depending on your mood, I guess. The torso itself has a hinge that allows for a pretty decent ab crunch, though doesn't really do much going back. Let's go ahead and take this out of his hand because it's getting in the way. The treads are on posts, so you can position them around however you want. I do like this backpack though, especially since it's basically the command center of a tank. In fact, on Red, I designed his head to look like these little 3-window things there, so that's kind of neat. His legs have fairly standard jointing for basically an HG style kit, though you do get a neat, I don't know how well you can see it in this, a sort of drop down hip, which is very much a master grade like thing, so that's cool. But you can kick up, and if you drop down the hip joint a little bit, you can kick up even more. And then you get a very nice double jointed knee, and with the way the armor is placed, you get that very cool part separation there that looks just simply amazing. The ankle joint is kind of neat. It's on a hinge right here. That clip, that's sort of like a C-clip, and then you got a ball joint there, so you get quite a wide range of movement, particularly for something so bulky, and you probably could get even more if it weren't for the fact that this ankle armor here is just so big. And this ankle armor, in fact, actually this entire lower leg is part of what's unique to the ground type. It has this very bulky look to it, and it's super cool. And I should note that you see this right here, that is the sort of C-clip system that they use to connect all sorts of different parts here. Because you see, this thing is actually built a lot like the HG Leo. In fact, I'm fairly certain the HG Leo was sort of the test bed for this thing. But if you wanted to, you can grab a hold of that piece and then just pull it out, and you can see right there, there's the C-clip, there's that. So anywhere where you see that, you can easily take it apart and put it together again however you want. In fact, if you wanted to, you could put these tank treads as the lower legs. I played around with that a little bit. Didn't look quite as good as I was hoping though. So yeah, posability wise, he is actually pretty phenomenal. Oh, he can even do a full splits. I just realized I forgot to show that off. Jean-Claude Van Damme would be proud. So you can get him in quite a few poses, which, considering how he's kind of bulked up a little bit too, that's pretty impressive. Got him kind of in like a almost Greco-Roman wrestling pose here or something. I don't know. His bazooka is pretty interesting because it can be assembled and or disassembled and reassembled in various different ways depending on whatever you want to do. And then it just slides into his hand. Let's get him straightened up a little bit. The main problem is having the tank treads on the back, it kind of interferes with the placement of the bazooka. Though I think maybe they had a different thing in mind. You can pop off the tank treads, and if you want, you can use the ports here and have it go over his shoulder mounted like this. In fact, he can even reach it, or reach the handle part. That's the thing about the 30-minute mission kits. They are covered in ports, whether it be pegs or the ports themselves. And that allows for quite a wide range of customization ability, depending on what you want to do. In fact, part of what they do with this is you have a whole bunch of extra parts left over on this thing. There. One of these, it's I guess not really a leftover part. This is the Roy little combat buddy thing. All the 30-minute mission kits come with something like this. I'm not entirely certain why. It's kind of cute, but it doesn't do much, and this thing is difficult to find a good place for on the kit. So usually it just gets set aside. But you got the lower legs of the regular Alto. You got the feet, various other armor pieces. And these things here are actually pretty cool because what they are designed to do is you can connect those there. Makes a nice satisfying click. Then you can connect that there, that there. And so you can have these on the ground like they are things for pushing. Very similar to the, it's one of the variations of the heavy arms, if I remember correctly, from the Gundam Wing Endless Waltz manga. Or, and this is what's going to happen with my kit, you can rotate these around and have them come up, and you can have the tank treads on the front. And this is very similar to how my character Red looks. So this is how my figure is going to go. And I may even have the gun like this over his shoulder. I also need to figure out how to rig up like a flag or something on him too, because of how Red is. But yeah, this is a fun little kit, and it is like made of possibilities. By itself, yeah, maybe it's a little on the lackluster side. It's fun, but since there's no fiction to go along with it, you kind of have to make up your own. But the fact that you can do just about anything you want with this thing and not have to be like an expert modeler, that is cool. And I have nothing but love for that. Let's go ahead and do a quick comparison to the Age 1 Normal. So as you can see, they're about the same size. Age 1 Normal here is pretty much a basic HG size, and they're both considered 1/144 scale. I'm looking over at the box, yeah. Which makes me wonder if they ever plan on doing like some 1/100 scale 30-minute mission kits. Though the point of 30-minute missions is that they're designed to potentially be put together in 30 minutes. Though this one took a little bit longer than that. Just ask Shoki of Shoki Reviews, and he'll tell you that 30 minutes is maybe a little bit of a underestimation. And speaking of Shoki, there is something that I want to point out that I'm glad he pointed out in one of his videos. So let's move this aside. The way most kit instructions work is you open them up and you start working on this side. But you actually have to look at what's essentially the back to get all these parts built before you can start on this. And if it weren't for the fact that Shoki had pointed that out on his space type review, I probably would have been really confused just as he was. Anyway, so that's been a review. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. Check the description below for links to my storefront where you can get official shelf space t-shirts and more. And yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.